It's time for another talk about the crypto market because why not, right? Something that I talk about frequently. Today, I'm not going to talk about the apps or trading, or at least not in this video. I'm going to talk about, or at least that's not the primary focus of this video, but I'm going to talk about how Bitcoin, Litecoin, and Solana will change everything. And by everything, I mean the entire financial market and economic system that we use will be significantly impacted by Bitcoin and Litecoin and Solana. And for that matter, a bunch of other coins, but those three in particular. Why, Yasha? Why would Bitcoin, Litecoin, and Solana be so dramatically impactful as to change everything? Well, it turns out, if you don't already know, right, the world is already changing according to Bitcoin. It's not that Bitcoin is changing according to the world. It's the other way around, right? People are coming around to see that what Satoshi created in 2008 and released onto the world at the beginning of 2009 is very much kind of a super powerful economics engine changer, revolution, whatever you want to call it. It is a paradigm shift. It is changing how finance is done. It's changing how accounting is done. It's changing how value transfers are done. It's changing how energy is done. Right? If cavemen figured out fire and then, that changed the world in terms of how we use energy, well, this is really probably the single biggest reinvention of energy since then. Because, coal, oil, steam, those are all just other ways of heating things, right, in order to transfer energy. Whereas Bitcoin, the energy, yes, it does in theory produce heat if you're using traditional computer miners, and therefore you could say, well, that's just another form of exchanging heat, right, for energy. Yes, but it doesn't necessarily need to use heat once it's produced. Like, once the wood is produced, you need to burn it to make the energy of the fire, right? Once the Bitcoin is minted, right, just like a wood grows with energy, the Bitcoin is minted with energy. Once the Bitcoin is minted with energy, it requires very little, if any, energy to use it. Right? It doesn't necessarily require any energy, or it's negligible amount, to transfer that Bitcoin to another wallet or to do something with it other than transferring it to another wallet, because it already exists on the blockchain. And yet you can still use it to transfer energy, because if somebody works for, whatever rate they work for, and they earn that Bitcoin, and you send them that Bitcoin for their work, there you go. They've earned that Bitcoin for their work, right? So I would just say that that is a very new way of creating something that has energy value and expending it in a way that has a different form of energy value. And that's why it's an energy revolution. More importantly, though, it allows you value transfer. And the reason why Litecoin, I think, is also in many ways as powerful as Bitcoin, even if the value, the cost of it, the price of it may never be the same. is because it's basically Bitcoin, right? Code-wise, it's the same exact code. Many of the miners that run Bitcoin miners are already running Litecoin miners, because why not? You know, you get 4 times as many Litecoin as you do Bitcoin when you mine a block, because there's 4 times as many coins in Litecoin than there are in Bitcoin. Right? So there's a max cap of 21 million Bitcoin. There's a max cap of 84 million Litecoin. And when you consider that the price of a Litecoin is around, just over 1% of the price of a Bitcoin, for $60, you can own a Litecoin. Or for $60,000, you can own a Bitcoin. I know, it's 58,900. Yeah, okay, 60 grand, right? It's about 1,000 times, 100 times the price. So there's only 4 times as many of them. It's distributed in terms of nodes almost as well as Bitcoin. And it's definitely still more in the hands, a little bit more in the hands of retail traders than it is in the hands of whales and huge holders, because the whales and the huge holders all want the Bitcoin. Okay, well, how did Bitcoin do in terms of returns before all the whales got in? And how has it done since they all got in? Now, I'm not saying that it can't go up significantly. Bitcoin can't go up significantly in price. Like I believe in the long term it will, probably. Another 10 to 15 years, it could easily be, doesn't have to be, but it could easily, in theory, be $1 million coin within 10 years. And who knows, within 15, 20, 30 years, 40 years, it could theoretically be a $100 million coin. Why not? It's possible, especially if the dollar keeps crumbling and eventually disappears. And then basically, it wouldn't be a $100 million coin. It would be, a Bitcoin would be the thing by which other currencies are measured. So other things would be 0.001 Bitcoin or 0.1 Bitcoin or whatever. Well, Litecoin is that beast that stays relatively quiet and just keeps plugging away, doing its own thing, being basically a clone of Bitcoin. And when people realize, wait a minute, there's basically no Bitcoin left, and it's the closest thing we have to, excellent money or perfect money or whatever you want to call it, Litecoin is right there along with it. Same exact code, same characteristics: immutable, shareable, divisible, multi-sigable, all these things, portable, transferable, got all these wonderful qualities, uncensorable, blah, blah, blah. We all know what they are. Litecoin has all of the same characteristics, and it's 1% of the price. And there's only 4 times as many. Do the math. Figure out what is the potential Sharpe ratio of Litecoin into the next 5, 10, 15 years versus Bitcoin. Yeah, sure. It might be that all the investment money will go into Bitcoin, right? But it's never going to be all the money goes into one thing. That's not the nature of humanity. We are competitive. And if you can get more returns out of some other asset that has the same exact characteristics as the one that's already bigger and is more likely to grow more slowly because it's more mature by a year or two, which is not significant, but it's significant enough that people can think that, Litecoin has dramatically more potential at this moment for explosive growth over the next 5 years, 10 years than Bitcoin. Now, sure, Bitcoin could go 10, 15x and get to $1 million in the next 10 years. It's possible. Certainly is. It's done it before, right? But the likelihood of Litecoin doing that is much higher when you look at the probabilities. And I'm not even talking about the trading probabilities. I'm talking about, right, they're related to the trading, but the very, very, very high time frame macroeconomic picture of Litecoin. It only has 4 times as many coins, and it's only 1% of the price. In theory, if all things being equal, it would be what, 25 times the price, right? That it is now, because it would be roughly 25% of the price of Bitcoin. So it would be roughly a $15,000 coin if it was completely pegged to the Bitcoin in its price, based on the quantity, based on the supply, right? So if Biddy is at 60, then Light would be right at 15. But we know that's not how the markets operate. But think about that. What is your growth from $60 to 15,000? Wouldn't you rather be on that return ride than on the return ride of going from 60 to maybe 100, 200, 300? Which would still be nice. Don't get me wrong. I'm not dissing Bitcoin at all. I'm saying stack sats. It's wonderful. But, with Litecoin, you can still stack whole Litecoins very cheap. And again, it's got the exact same code for the most part, right? Now, why Solana? Well, Solana and other altcoins are also going to change the world of finance and economics, because they demonstrate that, yes, while Bitcoin and Litecoin and some other coins are decentralized and open source and all that, you can actually still have successful projects that are venture-backed. And they're demonstrating that. Increasingly, they're becoming that. Now, can you argue that they're not really successful yet because of the nature of venture-backed operations, and it's still just a big centralized operation that still fails sometimes and is slow and this and that? Yeah, you can. But are there an increasing number of projects being built on Solana that are not just silly meme coins? Yeah, there are. Right, there's already a lot of NFTs built on it. Sure, 99% of those NFTs, just like on ETH, are just garbage NFTs, which are basically just money grabs and rugs, and they have no use case, just like on ETH. But the 1% that do add a significant amount of value to that niche, right, to that coin, that ecosystem. So why is it that people keep trashing it? Well, people keep trashing it because people keep saying that if Solana is venture-backed, then it's not truly a crypto, and nothing good can come of it because it's just going to be creating an ecosystem full of garbage. Well, that's a very peculiar view, and not one that I necessarily agree with, right? There's plenty of great ventures that intentionally build things to be successful ventures. And this really shouldn't surprise anyone. So, I guess it's a matter of opinion, but just if you consider the overall value proposition of Solana, it definitely has a strong value proposition compared to many other projects. And the way I see it, it definitely has a very solid potential rate of return into the future, which is why I am someone who likes to have some Solana. Let's just put it that way. And yeah, that's kind of going to do for now. I'm going to keep it short and sweet. Catch you guys on the flip side. And if you want to learn how to trade cryptos using actual volatility and entropy and probability and statistics, then you probably know. But if you don't, just go to the Alpha Trading Discord at alphatradinghq.com/discord. Once again, that's alphatradinghq.com/discord. And just go into the request support channel and request free access to the volatility starter kit. The only thing we'll need is your TradingView username, so we know how to give you, so we can give you the access to the tools, and then you get all the free tools and education that you need, and all the access to the live streams, which are 5 days a week, starting 9 a.m. Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Eastern time, and you get access to the live chats where you can discuss trading VEPs with other VEPs traders in real time who are trading with this stuff every day. Okay, that's going to do for now. See ya.